presenting InstaChord 2 from WA Production. This is the natural evolution of our original InstaChord MIDI plugin, now a fully fledged chord creator and mini sequencer. Whether you're a songwriter or producer, this ideas engine will find the best chord progressions in any musical key and combinations of notes with different voicings. Take a listen. Running as a MIDI effect plugin within any sequencer on Mac and PC, InstaChord 2 sports many new features. These include an advanced pattern editor, AI chord sequence and pattern generation, playback modes, and custom chord creation. All this alongside over 60 chord shapes with variations and voicings, a resizable interface, and a multitude of factory presets. This is an inspiring chord and strum MIDI processor like no other. So let's dive in. This is the main interface of InstaChord 2 with some recognisable options if you've used the original InstaChord. The interface is completely resizable within the options just here. The main concept of InstaChord is that you can assign each key of your MIDI keyboard to play a chord in a variety of ways dictated by the pattern editor. There are many chord shapes and scales available. The keys that you play are shown by this lower input keyboard, and the notes that InstaChord 2 outputs are displayed on the upper output keyboard. As you can see, a single key press can translate to playing an entire chord or pattern. There are two banks of chords, A and B. Each is 12 notes on your keyboard. And there's two more banks for playing patterns, assigned to A and B banks. But of course, there's a lot more detail to all of this for all features and functions. For clarity, you may find it useful to refer to the included quick guide, which displays the major attributes of the plugin. Let's look at the new features first. The main attraction is this section of the interface, which is the new pattern editor. After releasing InstaChord, an oft-requested update was to gain more control over strums and chord playback. So we developed this pattern editor, basically a miniature DAW inside of InstaChord 2 for creating your own patterns and sequences that can be played with just one key on your keyboard. Use this to program chords, strums, riffs, and repetitions. You drag notes around in the same way as your DAW, with these 7 lines representing 6 notes of a chord and a root bass note. You can perform many familiar DAW functions with Control, Shift, and Alt keys, such as selecting multiple notes, disabling snapping, or changing the offset to create a strum. Each note can have a set velocity. You also get full management over time signature and play mode. Each of the patterns is assigned to a playback key in the A or B pick ranges. so you can load up to 24 simultaneously. Use the menu to copy, paste, and delete. Of course, you can always choose to load some of the presets if you prefer. And feel free to edit these and even save your own creations, again using the functions in the menu. The AI Gen button procedurally generates new patterns, always musically inspiring. Compared to the original InstaChord, this new version has many more playback options for fretting and picking notes. 5 in total, covering different behaviours for holding notes and toggling chords. Whatever the instrument you're playing, there will be an authentic playback mode to suit. So far we've mainly heard one type of chord, played in many different ways by the pattern editor. But of course InstaChord can handle chord sequences with ease. As I mentioned before, you can load up to 24 chords across chord banks A and B. There are plenty of preset chord sequences to get you started, available just here. Of course, for each of your input keys, you can choose your own chord from a huge list. Again, lots of different choices, from traditional to chords that are more esoteric. Including variations of inversion, guitar, and wide chords. Transpose individual chords using the octave options for each just here. Or by using the global transpose controls across the top. You can use the Generate button to automatically create new chords for the input keys. Click Generate and a whole new chord sequence will be conjured up, based on complex algorithms and your key and scale settings. InstaChord 2 will generate up to 8 chords in a sequence. You click here to assign these to input keys in chord banks A or B. Let's generate again and assign to chord bank A. Let's try a different root key and scale. Other new features include editing existing chords and creating custom chords by selecting intervals between notes, or playing in chord notes with your MIDI keyboard to help InstaChord learn your favourite chord shapes. A few more things to mention. There are many other options for customization. Newly integrated into the main playback keys, action keys can be set to transpose by octave or semitone, providing an easy way to move chords around whilst playing live. You can even lock the chord and action keys so that they don't change whilst you experiment with more presets and settings. As you can see, with InstaChord 2, you'll never be stuck for songwriting ideas again. Check it out now at WA Production and Plugin Boutique.